Hey everyone, and welcome to Business Boutique. I'm Christy Wright, and today we are talking about finding your passion. Now, this is a great topic at the beginning of a new year. Many of you know that I am passionate about helping women step into their God-given gifts to make money doing what they love. But where did that come from? The passion fairy? Like, where do passions come from? Let's talk about it. Let's just first stop and talk about the word passion, right? Like, this is a word that I feel like is really overused. People use it all the time. I'm so passionate about that. I just, have a calling to do this and all that, which is great. That's awesome. But it leaves some people feeling like, well, what's wrong with me? I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what my calling is. Now, many of you know that I have talked about this before with calling, this whole topic of calling. And some people think that in Business Boutique, I help women find their calling, but I don't. Really, to be honest, and I've talked about this before, but the whole idea of calling is a little overwhelming to me. It's a little intimidating. Like the idea that there was one thing in this world that I was put on this earth to do, like, I don't know about that. Like, I feel like I could do a lot of things. I think you could do a lot of things. I think you and we have a long list of talents and gifts and abilities and skills, and we could use that in a variety of ways. So no, I don't help women find their calling. Now, here's what I do. I help you find something that you're really, really good at that you also love to do. Now, you may call that your passion. You may call that your calling. You may call that just your new business for 2019. I don't care, but I'm so excited because today we are going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about how to find your passion. What if you don't know what your passion is? What if you have a lot of passions? Now, as you know from me also, I am passionate about helping women step into their God-given gifts to make money doing what they love. I am passionate about that. I don't just think about it Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I think about it all the time. I have new ideas that keep me up at night. I have new ideas that pop in my head in the shower or 3 o'clock in the morning whenever I wake up. And so this is something that truly is from inside of me. It's that thing that I would do it if I wasn't paid, and I can't not do it. I've got to do it. But where does that come from? Like, where does that deep desire to do this specific thing and help this specific group of people come from? Like, where does passion come from? The passion fairy? Like, she just floats from the sky one day and tells you what you're passionate about, and that's the thing that you're supposed to pursue? If you were going to ask me everything that I'm passionate about, I would say yes. Y'all, I'm passionate about everything. I mean, I really am. Like, I can get excited about building a business or walking a dog or ballroom dancing or decorating a home or buying new clothes. I can get excited about just about anything. So if you're like me, well, then asking what you're passionate about to build a business from doesn't really help you because you're passionate about a lot of things. So that's why I'm really excited, because today I'm going to give you 3 different strategies that you can use to find your passion. Now, here's what's great about a strategy. A strategy is not a formula. A strategy is not an equation like A plus B equals C. You follow these exact steps and you're definitely going to get this black and white perfect result, like the right answer in a math equation. That's not a strategy. A strategy is simply an approach. This is the way that you're going to approach this topic. You're going to approach this issue, and it's a little bit looser than that. There may be moments of that work really well, and moments that you're like, you know what, that didn't fit, that didn't sit well with me, and I got to try something else. So that's why I want to give you options. We're not just going to talk about one strategy. I'm going to give you 3. And maybe you try one of them and you hate the other 2. Fine. If that one helped you, that's awesome. Or maybe you try all 3 of them and you work out some combination of these 3 strategies to come up with your passion. However you approach it is up to you. It's your passion. It's your business. It's your dream. And it's your year. Now, we're going to talk about this, and I want to start with the first one because the first strategy is actually how we started Business Boutique, okay? Now, the first strategy would be a self-focused strategy. Now, before you start feeling like I'm talking about being selfish and you've got to focus only on yourself and this is all about you, it's a you show, that's not what I'm saying. It's a strategy where you're saying, I'm going to look at myself, inside myself, at my past and different aspects of my life to come up with the thing that I bring to the world, the thing that I'm uniquely created and positioned to do, the thing that I have that no one else has. So when I say self-focused, I don't mean selfish, I don't mean self-centered, I don't mean self-seeking. I just mean you're going to focus on yourself to find your unique passion. And that's not a bad strategy. It's a great strategy, and it can be really, really effective. Now, Business Boutique was actually the result of a very specific strategy. So in 2013, I sat in a large boardroom with Dave Ramsey, my husband, and a ton of leaders. And the whole purpose for this day was to try to find out what the direction I should take would be for becoming a personality. I'd been a speaker for years, but now we were saying, okay, Christy's gonna be a dedicated Ramsey personality with a market and a message. What should that be? What should her focus be? So we sat in that room and we looked at some of the most important areas of my life. For one, we looked at my story. Well, I was raised by a single mom entrepreneur. She started a little bakery when I was 6 months old to raise and support me. So growing up in the business was a really unique experience that I bring to the world. Well, then we also looked at my education. My background is in business and marketing. I also became a certified business coach. And so you start to see patterns here already. Just 2 aspects of my life in, you're seeing business repeated. Okay, well, we kept going. We looked at my experience. I also had started a couple of side business to help me pay my rent and pay the bills whenever I couldn't afford them. Okay, again, you're seeing business pop up again and again. Well, then we looked at my strengths. I have natural strengths as being a speaker and a writer and a teacher. I love coaching people and speaking life over them and helping them believe that they can do it and giving them the steps to do it. Okay, how could these things work together? Well, then we also looked at the need in the marketplace. This was a time when businesses were starting at a rapid rate. They still are today, but this was even before this boom really took off of side businesses and small businesses and the whole side gig economy. So we thought, okay, we're seeing thousands of people enter the marketplace, starting businesses, people that can run a business and should run a business, people that want to run a business. However, they don't know how to run a business. Okay, so there's a lot of people that need help with business. Christy's a really good teacher, and she also has a background and a pattern in business. How could we combine these things and see the intersection come together? And that is where Business Boutique was started, because we started looking at all of these different areas of my life and what the business needed, what the marketplace needed, and where we saw that intersection was the birth of Business Boutique. It's the intersection of all of those different things. So I want you to ask yourself some of those questions. When I say your strategy for finding your passion is self-focused, I simply want you to look at different areas of your life for inspiration for something that you might be passionate about. So ask yourself those same questions that I asked myself back then. What is your story? People often are passionate about something that's in their own personal history. If you've lived through something, if you've walked through something, if you've experienced something, you're more likely to be passionate about it because you lived it. So what's your story? What's in your past or your childhood or your background? Something that might give you an idea for what you might be passionate about. You also want to ask yourself, what are you good at? I don't know about you, but I'm not really passionate about things that I'm not good at. I'm not passionate about singing. I'm not passionate about organization. I'm not passionate about details or spreadsheets. I am not passionate about a lot of things. I'm not passionate about the things that I'm not good at. But the things that I'm good at, oh, I'm so passionate about those things. I'm passionate about speaking and writing and running and creativity because I'm great at those things. In fact, nothing gets me more excited than hearing from someone, many times one of you, when someone writes in and tells me they want to be a writer, they want to write their first book, or they want to be a speaker and they're really working on their craft. I love hearing those stories. I love mentoring women and speaking into them and trying to help them build this specific craft. Why? Because I'm good at that thing. I get excited about things that I know, things that I can help with, and you are probably the same way. You're probably not super passionate about things you don't know that you're not good at. So ask yourself what you're good at. What are your strengths and gifts and talents? What are you uniquely created to do? What comes effortless to you? Whatever those things are probably a good clue to something that you're passionate about, or you could be. And that's a really good indicator of where your passion might lie. Now, I want to give you another question. Actually, I want to give you 2 more questions. What do you get really, really excited about? And what do you get really, really mad about? So when you pay attention to your emotions around an issue, it's a good indicator that you are passionate about that thing. If you get really excited about something that no one else gets excited about, you're probably passionate about it. Or if you get really, really mad about an issue that no one else seems to care about, it's probably an indicator that you're passionate about that specific thing. When you lean into your emotions, they can give you a clue as to things that you're passionate about. It's a kind of a window into your soul of when you pay attention to your reactions, you pay attention to your heart racing at a topic or something that just, you watch a news headline and it breaks your heart, something that it keeps you up at night and you're constantly thinking about it. It may even be something that you pay attention to and think, someone should do something about that because you're mad about it or you're excited about it and you care about it deeply. It just hasn't occurred to you yet that maybe that someone is you. So pay attention to your emotions. What do you get really excited about or what do you get really, really mad about? When you start to see the intersection of these things, when you start to see the intersection of your story and your strengths and the things you get excited about, when you start to pay attention to how those things intersect, it's a great indicator that you are going to be passionate about that thing. You're probably going to see a lot of possibilities and a lot of potential, and hopefully you'll also see a lot of passion there. So your first strategy to finding your passion is to focus on yourself. It's a self-focused strategy, looking at your life in different areas of your life and how those different areas might intersect in a way that leads you to your passion. Now, I want to give you a second strategy. Neither of these are right or wrong, okay? These are different strategies. You pick what works for you. The second strategy is people-focused, okay? So let's talk about this. Now, I believe that most of your passions probably come from within you. So you have a tug at your heart, you have a cause that keeps you up at night, there's a group of people that you just feel compelled to help. That's probably true. Now, while most passions probably come from within you, I also believe that you can be passionate about just about anything if you choose to be. After all, the difference between something you have to do and something you get to do is just your attitude. Now, let's talk about this. Let's say that you have an idea for a business, but you're not sure you're particularly passionate about it, okay? Let's just make up an example. Let's say that your business is refinishing old furniture. Okay, so you're gonna upcycle old furniture. You buy stuff that's been tossed into the garbage or the dumpster on the side of the road, thrift stores, whatever, and you're going to paint it and sand it, put new hardware on it, and you're gonna make it this beautiful piece of furniture that you're gonna sell as your business. And as you're thinking about this, you might be thinking, well, I'm not particularly passionate about a table. I'm just not. However, if you dig a little deeper, I'd be willing to bet that you will find something that you are passionate about. People, actual people. Because see, on the other side of every business transaction is a person that you're helping, a person that you're serving, a person that you're meeting their needs, a person that you're solving their problems, a person that you have in some way improved their life, all because of your business, all because of your furniture, or in this example, your table. This is a person that you're helping and loving and serving. And when you focus on that person on the other side of the transaction, on the other side of the business, then the business is no longer about building tables, it's about helping people. It's about serving people. And it's no longer just a table anyway. That's the place that meals are served and relationships are built and memories are made. That's what that is. It's no longer just a piece of furniture. See, when you look at your business through this lens, through the lens of the impact that you're making, your passion becomes ignited by the people that you're serving. So when you want a strategy to find your passion, focus on the people. Focus on the people that you are making a difference. And then you'll realize it's not about the product that you're selling, but the difference that you're making. And that becomes the thing that you're passionate about. And I'd be willing to bet that that is something that anyone in any type of business can be passionate about. After all, that's why we go into business in the first place, to help and serve the marketplace, to make a difference in people's lives. So regardless of the type of business or the type of idea that you have, Don't just focus on the business, focus on the people. And I bet that's something you can get passionate about. Now, I want to give you a third strategy, and this one's a little out there. I don't know how else to say it. Let's just be honest. Now, the first strategy, if you remember, is being self-focused, focusing on your life to get ideas and inspiration for your passion. The second strategy is people-focused. You focus on the people that you're serving and helping, and that helps you become passionate about anything. Now, there is a third area that is a way to find your passion, and it doesn't happen for everyone this way, but some people it does. That's God. That's right. Being God-focused. You can pray about it, you can ask God, or maybe God's just gonna tell you. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but y'all, I have heard hundreds, even thousands of stories of people that said, I have no experience in this area. I have no background, no strengths, no education. I don't even know about this thing, but God told me to do this. God called me to lead this. God asked me to help here. God showed me the door I was supposed to walk through, and I don't even know what that door is, but I've just got to trust where God is leading. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but it's also just the kind of thing God would do, isn't it? He calls you to an unlikely place during an unlikely time and wants an unlikely person, you, to do something unlikely. But that's who God is. You know, I have a great story of this. Many of you are familiar with Christine Kane. She is a friend of mine. I was on the Propel Women's Speaking Tour about a year ago, and she and I became friends. And I just literally got smarter by being in her presence. But she's brilliant. And she does a long list of amazing things, from speaking to writing. But one of the most amazing things that she does is she leads A21, which is the largest global anti-human trafficking organization in the world. And how this amazing thing started was her walking through an airport. I believe she was in Europe. And she saw all these posters of women's faces. And she couldn't believe what she saw. Those posters were faces of women that had been missing, that were likely abducted through human trafficking. And she saw that, horrified, and thought, someone should do something about that. And she realized quickly that someone was her. And she will even tell you she argued with God over this. But God, I don't know anything about human trafficking. But God, I don't have any experience here. God, I don't have any education here. God, I don't have any relationships or connections. Where would I even start? And God, I am a woman. Like, no one is going to listen to me over here. And she will tell you that God was not interested in her arguments. He was only interested in her obedience. And as you know, of course, because you've seen her amazing work, that she was obedient. And now thousands of women are being set free across the globe because she listened to what God said, because she listened to his call. So maybe your call comes from focusing on yourself and your past and looking at your life. And by the way, I believe God can use that. That doesn't mean selfish and God-focused is selfless. All of these God can use to lead you to your passion. So whether you look at your life and look at the patterns of what God has done in your life to lead you to your passion, or you focus on people and allow God to use that to give you perspective to serve the right people and be passionate about them. Or if maybe God just tells you one day the thing that you are going to be passionate about, the thing that will light a fire in you that can't even be explained. I'll tell you, I don't know of anyone in the world more passionate about helping women being set free from human trafficking than Christine Kane. And that came one day when she was walking through the airport. So however you find it, whether you find it through reflection and self-discovery, like focusing on yourself, which God can use, by the way, or if you find it through focusing on other people, which God can use, by the way, or if you find it through God directly telling you what you're gonna do, I know that you can find it. Each of these three strategies can lead you to the thing that you're passionate about. And like I said, maybe it's a combination of these three. Either way, I want you to know that God created you on purpose with a purpose, and I can't wait to watch you step into it.